Olá, pessoal. Boa tarde. Espero que estejam todos bem. Meu nome é Larissa, sou responsável por eventos no Reactor São Paulo. Antes de darmos início ao nosso evento, tenho algumas informações para compartilhar com vocês. Peço que leiam o código de conduta da Microsoft. Resumidamente, que todos sejam amigáveis e respeitosos com todos, incluindo os palestrantes. O Reactor é um lugar onde todos são bem-vindos. Mais algumas orientações. Este evento é gravado ao vivo e estará no YouTube nas próximas 48 horas. Pessoal que está nos assistindo online, podem usar o chat para mandar suas perguntas, suas dúvidas, que estaremos aqui prestando atenção a todos. Bom, vamos dar início agora, chamar o palco, o Ítalo, para começar aqui com vocês.
Hello. Well, today I will do opening in Portuguese and in English. Okay. So have someone here that don't speak English? Alguém aqui não fala inglês? Ok. Se você precisar de algum suporte de tradução, por favor, conte com a gente, tá? Eu posso sentar do seu lado e ir tirando todas as suas dúvidas, tá bom? Okay, so for who are watching online, well, we have a global, we are a global conference, so we have people watching for everywhere. So I will do the first presentation in English, so after in Portuguese for the Brazilians who don't speak English. Okay, so, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, just 1 second. Some technical things we have here. Okay, so now starting again. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate your presence here. I'd like to present you the CityJS. Who don't know the CityJS here? Quem não conhece o CityJS ainda? Wow, nice. So, thank you for coming again. We really appreciate it. The CityJS conference is a community conference. It started at London from three meetups, you know, three little commits, and it's begin a big conference in all the world. Okay, we started in 2018 with just a little conference, and it's getting big and bigger. And last year we did it in the worldwide, did a conference in India, London, the regional one, here in São Paulo, Athens in Greece, Singapore, Lagos. So we have the same conference in many parts of the world. Today we have here a pre-conference. I'm really happy to see everybody here. And tomorrow we have the main conference for more than 200 people, and I don't know how much online. It's a hybrid conference, so we have in person and online, of course. Well, we have for this year, we had the CityJS in London. We are having the CityJS here in São Paulo now, and we have the CityJS Athens in the Greece in May, and we will have the CityJS Berlin in August. Okay, well, we try to support the community. We don't have financial interest here. All the money we have is for the conference. You know, pay food, pay T-shirts, pay swags, pay the travel for the speakers, because we have some international speakers, as you will see here today. And oh, I'm sorry. And well, I'd like to say thank you for our sponsors, because without these sponsors, we can't do this this conference for the community. And well, thank you, Vonage, very much. Thank you, Starblock. Well, one second. Oops. Well, thank you, Twilio. Thank you, Tots. I'm sorry. I think my device is not working well. Well, work Infobeep and oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Infobeep, and thank you, X Team. Well, we have Velo Software and Skyla as our sponsors, and thank you very much too. Well, and thank for all communities that help us in sharing the conference, helping us with with the volunteers and everything else. Okay, so please, if you will share some pictures for the conference here, for this pre-conference, use the hashtag CityJS Brazil, and you can find us in Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, so now I'd like to do the same presentation in Portuguese for some people that don't know English. So, just a second. Bem, então, oi pessoal que está nos assistindo online, que não fala português. Muito obrigado por vocês estarem assistindo também. Eu espero que esse evento misto português e inglês possa ser útil para vocês e para todos que estão aqui, de vocês terem a oportunidade de treinar o inglês de vocês e absorver o conteúdo em inglês. E também falando para todos que estão aqui, por favor, aproveitem essa oportunidade para treinar o inglês e poderem falar em inglês entre si. Por mês que vocês estejam falando de brasileiro para brasileiro, nós temos algumas pessoas aqui que não são do nosso país, e seria uma ótima oportunidade para vocês também treinarem o seu inglês com eles. Então, por favor, aproveite essa oportunidade, porque, para ser sincero, nós não temos essa oportunidade todos os dias, e vocês sabem disso. Mesmo para quem é da área de tecnologia e está mais próximo de pessoas de outros países, ainda assim, não é todo dia que a gente conversa algumas horas em inglês e pratica o nosso inglês. Então, por favor, pega essa oportunidade e bola para frente. Bem, então, para quem está nos assistindo online, eu gostaria de apresentar o CityJS. Nós somos uma comunidade, né, que se iniciou com um meetup. Foram 3 meetups que se uniram para construir essa conferência. Essa conferência ela se iniciou em 2018, né, como uma pequena conferência e vem crescendo desde então. Ela se iniciou em Londres e a gente hoje teve no ano passado aí diversas conferências, né? A gente teve conferências na Índia, em Londres, onde o evento nasceu. A gente teve em São Paulo ano passado, assim como a gente está tendo esse ano também, na Grécia, Singapura, em Lagos, lá na Nigéria. São muitas conferências que nós temos todos os anos. Bem, todos os anos a gente começou o ano passado, né? Então, e a gente está fazendo esse ano, então são todos os anos. E aí, esse ano a gente também vai ter o CityJS na Grécia, já tivemos em Londres, vamos ter também o CityJS em Berlim, lá na Alemanha, e, bem, só para deixar bem claro, tudo que a gente arrecada na conferência não tem fins lucrativos, a gente investe 100% na conferência, comprando passagens de palestrantes, hotel, camisetas, brindes, alugando o local, o coffee, o almoço, a gente gasta tudo com a conferência, tá bom? Então, nós não temos nenhum fins lucrativos. E eu também gostaria de agradecer aos nossos patrocinadores, bem, a Vonage, Starblock, Twilio, a TOTS, que nos cedeu o local para poder fazer a conferência, a Infobeep, X-Team e a Velo Software e a Skyla, beleza? Bem, e também agradecer a todas as comunidades brasileiras e internacionais que nos ajudaram divulgando o evento, nos ajudaram com voluntários e tudo mais, beleza? Então, para quem quiser compartilhar fotos do evento, por favor, utilizar a hashtag CityJS Brasil E você pode encontrar a gente nas redes sociais aí, no Twitter, Facebook e Instagram. Bem, muito obrigado pela presença de todos. Nós vamos iniciar o nosso workshop. Caso alguém precise de alguma ajuda com tradução, por favor, só levantar a mão e a gente vai estar ajudando vocês, beleza? Muito obrigado e, mais uma vez, não percam a oportunidade de treinar o inglês de vocês hoje. É isso aí. Muito obrigado. So, Dwane, please.
All right.
Salva de palmas.
All right. So let's see what we got here. All right. Real quick, because I wasn't sure that it was going to be streamed live. And so let me, I need to sign into something real quick on this thing here. I need to share my screen real quick, but I have to send something somewhere. So while I'm doing that, so I like things to be as interactive as possible. So whenever I do workshops, I want you all along for the ride. So I created a website for y'all to tag along and join me in this magical journey that we're about to go through. So if you do have a laptop, feel free to take it out. You can try on mobile, but again, I wouldn't, I mean, so let me see something here. So if you go to that website, you will see the CityJS Sao Paulo there. You see it? Awesome. And on mobile, you're brave. Now, if you click enter, then you should be able to type in any username. Wow. Oh, and then also the password is CityJS. I'm really excited to see how your mobile experience is going to be because it's not going to be great. Spoiler. So, but you'll also notice there that I have a little cartoon character of myself and the words I am saying in English because I only know obrigado and desculpe. That's pretty much it. And so the words I'm saying should hopefully be popping up in Portuguese and hopefully accurately. And if not, I'm sorry for anything it may say. All right, is it working? Oh, awesome, okay. There's also a section if you want to like ask questions, it'll pop up on my screen here. So if we're going through this, you can ask questions. And then I'll ask for like thumbs up. There's like a little thumbs up thing there. So you'll be able to, let me know how things are going. All right, now I just need to share a thing real quick. Let me so that the folks at home watching will be able to follow along. And Twitter is difficult for me. Did I get a message? Give me a second. I didn't. Oh. Hey. Oh, I didn't get the link to share my screen. Like you said on Twitter. Wait, hold on. Is this? Oh, okay. It's because I don't know you. That's why. Okay. Yeah. Cool. There we go. All right. And all right.
However, prefer, and then whenever you're ready in the studio, I share screen.
Cool. All right. So yeah, so folks watching at home, I guess, if you're on a laptop, you can just go to myworkshops.live. But then for the folks watching that don't have, I guess, if you're on mobile or whatever, we're going to share my screen as well. So not too interactive, but it'll be fine. I have to log in? Okay. Well, I don't have Facebook, so let's see how this works. Sure, this one. Let's try that one. Okay. Oh, okay. Give me a second here. All right. Okay. He's got my mic. Awesome. Enter studio. And okay. Okay. I am so sorry. But you're awake now, so we're doing this. All right. I think that. So then I muted it. That wasn't me. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find my mouse. Here we go. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Entire screen. Let's go with this one. Okay, I should be sharing my screen now. So everybody, I guess, watching at home. Again, I didn't know this was going to be streamed live, so this is going to be fun. So yeah, so myworkshops.live. You click the CityJS Sao Paulo, whatever username, and the password is CityJS, which I just said the password on the internet. It's probably not the best idea. Don't ever do that. All right. So everybody's good. That's good, right? Everybody's joined. That's joined, right? All right, cool. So we're going to keep this moving. All right. Oh, somebody said this feature is really great and makes possible to lecture in any language. What have you used to make the sessions magic? Yes.
For now, have this return. Go on your StreamYard tab and mute the tab.
Mute the tab. Okay. All right. I think hopefully that worked. Let's see. Let's. Oh, can I raise my mic volume a bit? So we're good with that. All right. Cool. And then. Right, and we got some thumbs up. Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, kindly. So, all right, so it's working so far. All right, cool. Now let's see the actual magic. All right, so everybody saw the website. Awesome. Get out of here. Stop. Oh, what just happened? Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, give me a second here. It closed everything out. Oh, by the way, shout out to Vonage, my employer. So they made all this possible. They let me run around the country and talk with folks about things I find interesting. So big round of applause for Vonage for paying for my stuff here. Yay, woo. Continue making some noise for CityJS for throwing this super amazing event. And make some noise for yourselves for listening to me ramble for like 2 hours. All right. Cool. So now everybody should see the slides. If you're on the laptop, hopefully you'll see the slides. That title slide, right? Now, when I click that, did that change for everybody? Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Web components. See, okay. So has anybody ever heard of web components? Let me know. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm gonna need y'all to get me some feedback on how this goes. So, because I'm always interested, because there's different ways people kind of come into web components. So I'm interested in your feedback on how this like aligns with what you know about it. Oh, it's a lot of people. Okay. Oh, wow. So you don't even need me here. So what am I doing here? Okay. So where's the mouse? Here we go. There we go. All right. So a couple of goals and some things we want to try and hopefully leave here with. So I want to leave you all with like a general understanding. Well, you already know apparently web components already. So maybe a little bit more general understanding that you may have not heard before. Show some value of web components, because that's important, because learning about something is cool, but if you don't see a value in it, then there's no point in it. And then kind of show how to create and integrate web component, because one of the cool things about web components is that you can use it in whatever like frameworks or libraries that you want, because it's just a web standard. And then some resources to be able to learn more about it. So I don't want it to just stop here. If you're interested in it, I'm gonna give you some resources to learn more. All right. So now, do you have a GitHub account? Because that's gonna be kind of important. I mean, we are in Microsoft, so you probably just want to say yes anyway, right? So I better not see any no's, because you may get kicked out of here. Oh, there's always a one, right? All right, cool. Next. So now, you may be asking yourself, well, web components, are they a thing yet, right? And it being the internet, there's a website. So our web components are thing.com. And shout out to Westbrook J on Twitter who put me on to this. So I'm going to need some more interaction with y'all. So yes, short term, yes, they are a thing. You may be like, I don't really believe you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to scroll this site, and anytime you see a logo that you recognize, I need you to say ding. All right. So I scroll up. There's a logo you recognize. You're going to say ding. Yes. It's just like a bell, ding. It doesn't mean anything in anywhere, just ding. All right, so I scroll up, you see a logo, you say, all right, cool. So here we go. Yep. There's more. Keeps on going. So yeah, this is right? And that last one, Wordle, that thing sold for like $1 billion just using web components. So there's value in web components. All right. Also, another huge, YouTube is like the second largest search engine or something, and they use web components. If you ever look at their source code, you'll notice like these random elements that begin with YTD hyphen something. Now, if it's like a strange element that you've never seen before, it's most likely a web component. That's one way to kind of detect them in code. Another one, and again, we're being hosted by Microsoft, GitHub. GitHub likes web components so much that they actually created their own set of web components, because if anybody's ever dealt with time on the internet, you know it's terrible, right? So if you ever notice like this says like 2 months ago or last month, those things are web components. And you can kind of see it right here where it says time-ago. And EA Sports, it's in the game. All right, so yeah, so you can see they actually have their own set of web components that you can kind of play with, and because dealing with time is a pain, and they're there to help you out with that. So they have their own time elements web components. Cool. Now, if you've ever used any of these things, like the video element or the audio element, or even this is a sleeper element, the details, like look at that, you get a drop down. So have you ever wondered how if you just put like video and like a source, you get a fully functional video player? You didn't have to do anything with the display, the play pause button, the timer, the audio, like full screen. You didn't have to worry about any of that. Same thing with like the audio and even the details. With that, those are kind of like web components. So that's what you can think of. All the stuff the magic behind it is all enclosed in a tag, right? So if you ever use those, you've been kind of using web components. All right, now this is like the coolest web component I've seen in a minute, right? And so it's a model-viewer. And I have links to stuff, so if you're on the web, you can actually look at the site as well. But look at this. I don't have to know anything about WebGL, augmented reality, virtual reality. It just, you put in model-viewer, and it just renders it for you. I'm going to show you. So this was the original example, right? They decided to step it up, and they actually have the suit that Neil Armstrong wore to the moon. And so they have like an even realer. I mean, look at the reflection in the helmet. Like this is, and again, all you have to do is you need a little bit of JavaScript so that the browser can understand what this model-viewer is. You can have alt tags for accessibility, super important. You have this AR if you want to put in AR. We'll see that soon. And then this is the actual. So just like in the video, you have a source. And it's right there. And that's all you need to be able to fully render a 3D model on the web without doing anything else. I think that's super amazing. Now, I thought it was so amazing, in fact, that I actually created a WebXR tic-tac-toe game. And so if you come to the conference, we're going to be playing tic-tac-toe. So if you want to practice, you can go to xoxr.games. And so it's kind of like this. So let me show you like a little quick video. So what's happening is that same model viewer web component, I created a tic-tac-toe game out of it. And so you can see, if you're on an Android device, you can actually put it in the real world through augmented reality. Again, I know nothing about augmented reality, but the web component does it for me. So I don't even have to worry about it. And that to me is amazing. So I was able to make this whole thing in like less than a week, just kind of like off and on, from work. And I'm using the Vonage APIs because we do real-time communications. So I'm able to pass the moves back and forth using our Vonage APIs. And then if you're not like in the same room as the person, you can also enable audio and speak with them. Again, another Vonage API. So again, if you want to check it out, we're going to be playing for prizes and stuff during the conference. So if you want to get some, get some practice in xoxr.games. All right, so now I'm the type of person who likes to create a lot of projects. You're looking at one of my side projects, my workshops.live, and sometimes I create too many projects, right? And I like to have a page that says what technologies I use to create that project. And having to like recreate it over and over again for each one kind of makes me not want to create the project because I know I'm gonna have to do this thing. I don't want to do it. So in order to fix that, I created my own web component. So it's like Dwane-made, and that's how it shows up. And all the different parts, like the about, the built with, the updates, those are fetched from the project's backend. And so that way I never have to recreate my about page. I just put that in, point it to the API, brings it in, and fills it out for me. So that's one cool thing about web components, super reusable. All right. Another cool thing is that they're kind of like a Swiss Army knife. So I'm a big fan of the input tag. Now, if you ever notice, just by switching the type, you get the button. You can, like, again, dealing with time. Imagine having to create a whole calendar and then being able to select it and time and all those things. All you need is just input, type, date, local. I always thought that was super cool. Then you have like a radio button, checkbox. Even this, like you have a whole color picker. Imagine the CSS it would take to try and make those gradients, right? And the input button just does it for you, which is kind of amazing. And then also you have the choose a file and then, you know, the OG text. All right. So again, in the same vein as the multi-use, again, dealing with time is terrible. And I had some projects where I was always doing like timers or showing in local time. I was like, not gonna keep doing this. So I created a web component. So if you ever find yourself kind of reusing the same thing, it's a pain to actually, you can encapsulate all that into a web component and it's reuse it a bunch of times. And you can also, like with my timer, so if you see where it says Sunday, February 20, that, this 4 minutes, 32 seconds, that, even like this countdown here, those are all the same web components. So depending on what I pass as attributes, you can make it look differently, kind of like with the input button. All right. So again, multi-use is a great thing with web components. So here's a link to some other like resources. So you can see more examples and some collections. And so webcomponents.org is a very cool one. And then on Mozilla Developer Networks is another really cool place to have all sorts of examples there for you. So are web components getting any cooler for you? All right. Nice, nice. Oh, look. Oh, that's okay. Very nice, very nice. All right. Cool. I'm glad it's working though. So that's pretty cool that it's actually, sometimes you never know when you're doing these things. All right, cool. So we're gonna keep it moving before there's a no. All right, so let's talk about, we talked about how cool web components are, who's using them. So let's talk about what actually makes a web component, all right? There's 3 web technologies that web components are based on. There's a custom elements, shadow DOM, and HTML templates, right? So custom elements, as you may understand, like I said before with the YouTube, there's like the YTD hyphen. So web components allow you to create your own elements. Now the thing is, it must have like a hyphen or like a dash. That's called a kebab case, right? Because we don't want anybody to be like an IMG tag or an A tag, right? So we want to have like only single words are only for the web itself. So when you create a web component, it must have at least like 1 hyphen in it. So the custom elements, it's a class object that describes the behavior of your web component. So for example, like my timer, it counts down. So all that's within a class, and then you assign that to an element. And we'll take a look at that code for that. And then what's cool is also, if there was like, let's say you want to create your own super fancy button, right? You're able to extend the HTML button element. So it has all the goodness, all the different events, all that stuff, and you can extend from that. But normally, like you just kind of extend from the base one, and we'll take a look at that as well. But if you ever wanted to start off from a certain element already, you can do that as well. So you can extend it. All right. Mouse. Now, the shadow DOM, it's kind of like its own pocket universe, right? So it's like its own shadow realm kind of thing, right? And so it provides encapsulation. So all your code kind of stays within your web components. It doesn't like leak out unless you want it to, you know what I mean? But you control it there. And Paul Lewis, I have a link to a video. He describes the shadow DOM as it contains the gross, like your code and your logic and all those things. So you don't have to worry about it. The person using it doesn't have to worry about it because it's all contained in that. And like I was saying, you can depending on what you want to go out of it, you can remap events. So let's say because everything is like a click, right? But if you have like a voting web component and somebody clicks that, I mean, click doesn't really mean much, but you can remap it so that when it goes out into the outer application, you can maybe call it vote. And so that your outer application, instead of listening for a click, you can listen for like a vote event. And that way it's a little bit more meaningful for the outer application to be able to use it. So that's what the shadow DOM can do. Then we have HTML templates. HTML templates are just useful in general. Like you don't really need them you need them for web components, but you can use them yourself. And has everybody ever heard of the template tag? Oh, these things are awesome. All right, nice. So you know how awesome it is. So basically, anything you put in template, the browser will just like ignore. So you could have like encyclopedia, like in between template tags. The browser is like, I don't care, it's a template. It only cares when you use some JavaScript to like bring it up. So that you let the browser know, okay, I want to do something with this. Otherwise, it'll ignore it. So you can have all these things. So it doesn't affect so like I said, it's used to efficiently render HTML and update when the user interacts with the web component. So we'll take a look at that as well. But the thing is, for complex templates, as we know, anytime we do anything complex in coding, a lot of times there's like a framework to kind of abstract some of that stuff for you. And we'll take a look at some different frameworks as well for web components. All right, so let's take a quick example right quick. So, all right, we're going to take a look at this code here. So the HTML, just regular HTML, goat group is the actual H title tag. And then H1, who's the greatest group of all time? And then we have that here, who's the greatest group of all time, all right? Notice it's green, H1 green, all right? Then we have this input, again, the humble input, which is this here. And then we have this group submit button, right, which is just a submit button. And then we have like a little thinking face. Now, also, you may notice, hey, there's this goat hyphen group, and it has an attribute of guess that's set to nothing right now, right? And so that's the little thinking face is right there. So that means it's like right there, all right? So give me some, who's the greatest group of all time? CityJS, sure. The music, I mean, Aris rap probably, right? You'd be rapping, and all right. So let's see, CityJS, nope. Then you click OK, and they're okay, I guess, right? Now we all know in our hearts that the greatest group of all time is Outkast. You just know that, right? Now that you see it, you know it. And so if we click that, yep, and then you see there, Outkast, you're right. Cool. Now let's take a look at some, so here's the CSS. Again, the H1 is green, right? Let's take a look at the JavaScript. So as usual, I like to do the light DOM stuff at the top, so I like to get a reference to all the things. Exactly, they got some backing music, nice. Again, the greatest group, Outkast. All right, so we're getting some references to the different elements. So you see here's the sub input there, we got the button. And what's cool about web components, the same way you would get a reference to input or a button is the same thing with a web component. So you can see here we have the query selector on the, will this let me resize that? Won't let me resize it. Goat hyphen group there, all right? Now, on that button, I'm putting an event listener of click. Click is, it's kind of like, click, whatever, right? And so I have this console log button click, and then I set the attribute of the web component, because see, again, we have the reference through the query selector of goat group. So you can set attributes on it just like it's a regular element, because it is a regular element, all right? And so you're setting an attribute, and that attribute was guessed, which is this one right here. So you're setting that as you would on anything else. And yeah, so I'm setting it to the value of the input, all right? Now, on the window, you see I'm listening for a guessed event. And I'll show you where that's coming. So that's not a regular one, but it's something more meaningful, meaning, hey, someone guessed something, right? It's not a click or like an input change or anything like that, right? So again, we're creating a template here. So we're using the same template tag. So I'm creating a template tag. And then the inner HTML of that, I have the slot, an H1, and a div ID of verdict, okay? So that is the structure of the web component. All right, but right now it's just a template because the browser doesn't care about it. But we'll make it care because here we have our class. And again, that's with the custom elements. And so we're calling the class goat group. All right. Oh, by the way, that might be weird for you because GOAT, why is it GOAT? Greatest of all time. Just in case. I didn't know if that translated right. Because you're like, why is he talking about goats? So I forgot. I'm in a different country. GOAT, greatest of all time. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so now we have this observed attributes. And so in web components, you have certain like methods that you can call. So there's like observed attributes. And you return an array of strings of your attributes. And so guess right here, because again, our attribute here is guess. So we're observing that we're telling, again, our behavior for our class that we want you to observe guess. All right, so if that changes, run this stuff, all right? Then we have the constructor, which you always want to do a constructor if you've done any sort of like frameworks. You ever notice like there's like a constructor? And then the super, that's where you get all the HTML element goodness, like methods and properties. And then here is where we have the browser care about our template. So we're going to take the template content, again, with the H1, the div, and like the little slot. And we're going to update the shadow DOM. Again, remember the internal guts of our stuff here. So we're going to attach, we want to have it to be open. And that means that it's accessible by JavaScript. So you can reach out from the outside, right? So it's either open or closed. And then we're going to attach what we just had, the clone of the template that we have there. We're going to attach it to the shadow root. And then, like, if you click, I have this event listener click. So if I click the web component, you see it's blue now, right? If I click it, turns red. So that's what that's doing there. It's turning it. So you can modify like different styles within it. So that's why there's this dot. All right. And then connected callback. This is what happens when it's attached to the DOM of your web page. This gets called back, right? And that's why the color originally was blue. All right. So okay. So now, if the attribute changes, well, we're going to do the name again, which was guess. We have the old value and we have the new value. So when that changes, you have those things. So it tells you the name of the attribute that changed, its old value and new value. That way you can put that in your logic if you want. So I get rid of like if there's any spaces. If it's still that, I don't do anything to it. And then if it's outcast, then I say the shadow root query selector, the H1 here is the uppercase outcast with exclamation points. Then I say you're right, which is, remember, so now I'm using, remember that ID verdict, the div that was in there? So just like with query selector on the light DOM, you can do the shadow root query selector and then have the verdict ID or whatever you want, or class, or what have you. And I'm saying the inner text of that to your right. That's why that's there. I'm also dispatching a custom event. So that guest. So from me submitting it, right? I am so from the attribute being changed and then clicking it, I have this event here. So I see this is the remapping. So it's now guest. And then the detail is yup. So that's why it popped up in the alert saying yup. And then it bubbles up through the component into the shadow DOM, and then compose, it can cross into the light DOM. And then I changed the H1 to be that value, which is the outcast. All right, cool. Then if it wasn't it, so I have the else, then I'm like, they're okay, I guess. And I pass the same guest event to nope. All right. And then there's a disconnected callback. If it's ever removed from the DOM, you can listen for that, and you can run whatever you want logic in that. And then all of that leads into, so that's all the behavior of our web component, right? It's kind of a lot. But now the custom.define, this is part of the custom elements API. This is where I am attaching the name goat-group to the behavior that all this other stuff that the class is doing. So that kind of all ties everything together. Now, you're probably like, that is a lot, right? Just to be able to say Outcast is the greatest group of all time, okay? So it is kind of a lot of boilerplate stuff. So let's go over kind of like what happened. So we have our custom element, again, with the hyphens. We pass in properties and attributes into it, right? And out comes custom events. And then you can also call methods on your web component, and they'll do stuff and it can spit things out. So again, this is kind of like a flow chart of how it works. And then the outer part is the application that your web component is in. All right. Cool. So I know that was kind of a lot. Our web component is still cool. Oh, let me check while I have it. Okay, so which is the best place to store these web components? We're going to talk about that. Very nice. So I'm glad. Okay, all right. Then this. Oh, is this not a touch screen? I thought it was a touch screen. Hold on. Here we go. Let me see. Are there any other questions? Oh, a backend developer. All right, very nice. Yep. Outcast. Yep. Yes, there's always a dash in a web component. The kebab case, they call it. And then, yeah. All right, cool. All right, cool. I mean, we're not going to, not everybody's going to like it, but you will see the light at some point. All right, now let's talk about some tooling. Because again, that was kind of a lot just to do that one thing, right? And, whenever we try to get too many boilerplate things, a lot of people come up with frameworks and things. So we're going to take a look at that. But first, so there's this website, webcomponents.dev. And what they try to do, it's like an online, like I say, online IDE for web components. So I'm trying to think of something close. Anybody use like Stack Blitz or like Code Sandbox or anything? And you can kind of like click a thing and you have like a new React application or Angular thing. Like that with web components, because there's a bunch of different libraries. So this way you can try one and see if you like it and be able to delve more deeply into it. So real quick, how many different ways in libraries do you think there are to create web components? Just curious. Just throw out a number. 10? How's up? Oh, you cheated. Okay. How about anybody else that didn't cheat? No. Okay. So actually, there's like 64 of them. So you can see some of them here. There's like 64 different ways, different templates. Kind of amazing. So like you can see, so you may notice Fast. Fast is actually a framework created by our good folks here at Microsoft. They're even in on the game. So it's important, right? If Microsoft is behind it, they're down. So let's take a look at a Fast thing here real quick. And what's cool is like you can just go to webcomponents.dev. And now like the example project that they use is like a counter, right? And so if we go to source index here, I need to, that's not showing me it. Why aren't you showing me it? No, oh wait, stories, there we go. Here we go. So it's loading dependencies, cool. So yeah, so here is just a counter. And then if you can go to any other ones, so let's take a look at, let's see all 64. All right, so we have like one from Lit. So even Google, they have their own as well. Here's like the plain one we took a look at before. That's loading. That's also loading. Let's see, anything else? They have some funny names like Haunted. That's kind of wild. Let's see. We saw the Lit one. Skate.js. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with that one. Oh, even Salesforce. They have their own framework as well for creating web. Stencil is another good one. All right, so let's see what loads up. All right, so again, we have the same counter. Oh, there's some sort of error. But like, if you want, you can take a look at the actual. So you can see you have the same constructor. Then we have like the increment method, decrement method, and then you put the styling here. So you can kind of see it's almost like a regular like web page, kind of like your regular code, right? And then you have the button, and you have like a click event. So that's how they do theirs with like an @ So I mean, if this vibes with your soul, yeah, you can use this to create your web component. Or if you like this. So here's the plain one that we had before, right? So it kind of shows you how to do that. So it's pretty cool that you're able to, oh, you have to use Salesforce for that. All right. And then, so yeah, so here you can see like, it's kind of like, I guess, I don't know, I haven't used React in a minute, but I think you can do, I don't know, but you have like, I guess even like TypeScript. Oh yeah, it's TypeScript. There you go. So yeah, so you have like, you could do the @ So if you like TypeScript, TypeScript's your jam, you can also create web components. All right, cool. So that's using Stencil. All right. So again, 64 different ways to be able to try to see if there's something that, you like and be able to use to create web components. Because again, at the end of the day, they all compile into the base things that you need to create a web component. It's just depending on your style of coding. All right. So again, let's take a look at this one here. So this is just the regular one, and you'll notice, where's the thing at? They changed this on me. Oh, no, that's not what I do. That's not gonna show me the, okay, well, before I was able to kind of see the code, but yeah, we kind of saw that already. All right, now, so you saw there was so many different options to be able to create your web component. And sometimes, you ever heard of like analysis by paralysis? Like there's so many choices and you're like, your brain kind of shuts down, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, especially if you're on a team, you don't want random people creating with different tools, right? So to kind of remove that choice, we have open web components. And if we take a look at the website real quick, and which is also here. So open web components provides guides, tools, and libraries for developing web components. So they kind of like have like their own best set of practice. And so then you kind of just like roll with whatever they tell you. And they use lit under the hood to kind of, and it's pretty cool because it's like a CLI command, a CLI tool. You do it, you put in the name of it, and it will scaffold out the whole project for you. So if you want to have like testing and all these other things, like if you want to use Storybook, all of that through the CLI. And so that way everyone has the same scaffold setup every time, right? So that way it removes all the like the weird stuff, right? That people may like try. All right, now someone spoke about publishing, like where do you store these things? So npm.js. So anybody, I mean, if you ever do like npm install something, well, that's coming from npm.js, all right? And so you're able to publish your web component there and store it there. And then you do like npm install the name of your web component and it'll bring it down locally, just like with any other framework or library. Now, we also can use CDNs or content delivery networks. And so some of them are like JS Deliver, Skypack.dev, and Unpackaged. So if you are in an environment where you can't install things, like if you're like in an online IDE or something, and you can't like really install like CodePen or something like that, we'll take a look at that. You can use a CDN to be able to pull it into the project, which is pretty cool. So let's build something real quick. So we're going to build this. I created this keypad web component because having to recreate that every time was kind of like a pain. Having all the buttons and having to listen to all the buttons and having the input and listening for the input and then all the different methods and stuff coming out of it, I decided just to wrap that all up in a web component. So I scaffolded it using OpenWC. Again, just using the CLI command. It spit out the scaffolding that I need, gave me the starter code. And so the different attributes and properties that you can pass in, we've got like the placeholder, keys, action text, which is this here. This is a cancel text because when you do the create action, it switches the action text and cancel text. If you don't want to have the asterisk, you can get rid of it by passing in the no asterisk attribute. No hash, the same thing. And if you want to have your own input, you can get rid of it by no dash display. All right. Now, like I said, we have some custom events coming out of it. So whenever a digit is added, like when I click 1, it sent out a digit added event that the outer application can listen for and do whatever it wants. When I hit enter, there's a digit sent. And then action ended is that I can send it back. It does the opposite of create action, so I can stop it. All right, so we're going to use this as our base. So again, properties and attributes into your web component. Oh, whoops. Yes, and then custom events out, and then you can call different methods upon your web component. Cool. All right, and then some more references, open web components, and then lit is the actual thing that we're going to be using today. All right, so here we are. So this one, so this is the actual web component. Let me make a copy of this because I want to overwrite this. Let me open the project. So normally, like if you're on a laptop, you can actually open it up in a new browser if you want as well. Because right now we're just going to kind of like create our own web component through webcomponents.dev. So what I'm going to do is give me a color because I'm going to change the color of the, so I'm not cheating. So let's give me a random color. What's the color that someone likes? Anybody, it's fine. Just whatever color you want. Just anybody have a favorite color? Anybody? Pink. All right, let's go with pink. All right, so the background will be pink. Wait, I can't. Wait, there we go. Oh, I think I have to save it. And I broke it. Oh, come on. This is why I hate live coding. Cool. Now that's not too accessible. What color do we want to make the text? Yellow would be terrible. A yellow text on pink background. Oh, there you go. There you go. I forgot where I was. Okay, here we go. So we'll make the background green. And then the text yellow. Again, I cannot. I can. All right. I wonder how I get paid to do this. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right. Now what we're going to do is what's cool with when you're developing and kind of testing things out. And I like to use webcomponents.dev because trying to publish to my own like actual main web component is going to look weird. They have like 50 different published versions of it. So I like to kind of throw it into webcomponents.dev and kind of just play around with it. So because here you can actually package it up and send it off. So let's see. So I saved that. Cool. So we're going to cut a release. And it's going to be 1.0.1. And so right now it's kind of like packaging it up for us. And it's going to send it off to npm.js to publish it. And then we'll be able to use a CDN to pull it down. All right. So we got it published. It's doing its thing here. And you can see kind of here, like the actual web. So I have the styling here for the web component. And then we have some of the different properties that you can pass into it. And so this is like a lit, the way lit does it. You can do like static get properties, set it that way. We have a constructor we want to initialize the stuff with. And then we have the different methods here. I put the underscores to kind of say that it's supposed to be like a private thing. If you have TypeScript, I think it'll actually do it. But I'm just using JavaScript here. All right, so here our thing was published. Let's take a look. And so it's published under the web components .dev name there. So you notice the @WCD. That way it prevents clashes because a bunch of people could come up with some random name as long as it has a hyphen in it. But to be able to kind of differentiate who's what, we have the namescaping there. So when you install it, you'll see that. All right. Wow, there's already a download of that. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, so you can see we just created it a few seconds ago. All right, and so yeah, so here's the actual thing that we're going to want to install. Oh, they changed that. Oh, fancy. Okay, let me see something here. Hopefully this will still work because this is different. All right, so back to the slides. Oh, yes, okay. Oh, I didn't fork it. Oh, that's going to mess up. That's fine, whatever. All right, so you can see here it's already been changed. All right, so now here is CodePen. Like I was saying before, you can't really npm install things in CodePen, right? So if you want to try out your web component, like, oh, well, at least you can, now you can actually use the CDN because it's supposed to be in unpackaged as well. Has anybody used like unpackaged? Anybody use any CDNs and stuff? It's kind of amazing like how it just automatically like copies all of npm, like you gotta even do anything, which I think is super cool. All right, let's see. So right here, I have a little polyfill, which is not really needed anymore because a lot of the modern browsers support everything. So we're going to load the web component here. So let me put this here. Now let's see if this still works. All right, save that. Oh, didn't mean to do that. All right, no, there we go. See? You just put a link to the actual CDN and bam, you have your web component there. All right, and then you can see here, I have the actual tag here, VC keypad and the placeholder. And if you want to get really aggressive about people adding, entering the number, you can do that. And there you go. All right, so now that is if you were to actually use a CDN. Let's take a look. If you're in a, so Stack Blitz allows you to npm install things. So let's see here. Thing is, I didn't change it. Okay, well, let's see. This one here. I didn't mean to click that. I think I should be able to do this. Well, okay, well, whatever. So if I do, if I put in the actual, this thing here again. So this would be like npm install space @WCD, yada, yada, yada. But for Stack Blitz, let me open this in a new window, make that a little bit bigger. All right, so yeah, so I can just click that. So it's actually going to install it. Cool, you see it says 1.0.1. That's what we used before. So installing, cool. Then I can go to so now if I want to bring it in, just like with anything else, you can import, then, stop. There. Okay, save. Hopefully that will, what? Oh, there we go. And so you see, I npm installed it, and it showed up because, again, in the HTML, I just have the VC keypad element. So it loads, so it comes across the VC keypad, like I have no clue what this is. It looks at the JavaScript, oh, this is what it's supposed to do, cool, put them together, and that's why it pops up there. All right, and again, it's Brazilian colors because I'm not lying to you. All right. So that I showed you how to do npm install. Now, that's cool for vanilla JavaScript. So where should we, because not a lot of people are doing vanilla JavaScript, right? So let's pick a framework library that we want to try put in our brand new, okay. I see. So just curious. So React is a big thing here. Just kind of curious. A lot of people liking React, or nice. Okay, cool. We're gonna take a look at that. All right. Okay. All right. So it looks like. So also, I should have mentioned, you can always go back to the site and the myworkshops.live. As long as I'm paying for the domain name, you'll always be able to log in and check out these slides again later on. So if you wanted to try Angular Vue, we can do that as well. But for right now, we're gonna go into React. And I can't find my mouse. Here we go. All right. Now, the thing is, with React, is not the best supporting of web components, right? So a cool place that you can kind of check out to see if your favorite framework supports web components. Are you laughing because React doesn't support a lot of things? Are you kind of like, that's just kind of a known thing? It's kind of like, yeah. All right. So, but there's a cool website, custom-elements-everywhere.com. And what they do is, like they say here, making sure frameworks and custom elements can be BFFs. And I don't know why there's a beer thing. Maybe that's just, I guess, BFFs drink. So it kind of goes through. So here's Angular, right? The newest Angular. You can see 100%. Awesome, right? Even Angular JS, 100%. We have something called Dio, Dojo, hybrids. Again, there's so many different frameworks that come up. Hyper HTML, I've used that one before. That's super awesome. Lit, you can even use Lit, Mithril, Omi. Polymer is like the old version of Lit. Preact. Then we have React. Now, the issue with React is that so they kind of tell you here is handling the data and handling events, which are like the most important things you do with stuff, right? So handling data, the thing is, you can only pass in strings, right? You can't really do rich data like objects or arrays. Otherwise, you get like the dreaded object and like an array thing that's just terrible. So, but there's ways around that. We're gonna take a look at that. And then there's also like handling events. You can only you have to have the ref, and this has changed like 3 times, the way you get references to an element. So you have, like it says, you have to use ref, and you have to manually attach the listeners, and we'll take a look at that as well. All right, cool. Let me double check something here. Let me check something. Where is it? Cool. All right, so then you can see, so that's the main thing. That's why it's not 100. But now, did you know, and this is what I'm trying to spread the word on, that there's an experimental version of React that has full support for web components. And he has actually a link, I think, to the issue where they're talking about it. So apparently it's going to come out in React 19. But of course, they've been saying that since 2017. So there's a link to the actual, the GitHub repository. And be nice. Be like, hey, I think web components are cool. Can we make sure that it comes out in React 19 officially? So I'm not going to tell you to, rush there and do, but just be nice, all right, if you do. They work very hard. All right, so we're going to take a look at adding our keypad component to a React. I also have a link to a blog post, which will show you all the stuff through. All right, let's see here, what we got here. All right, so normal React, everything's looking okay from all React people, right? It looks, no tricks under the sleeves or anything like that, right? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to npm install our web component, which again was located here. I have way too many things open. Let me close this. All right, so I'm going to npm install it again. All right. Oh, and this is like React 17. Yeah, it's fine. You can try it out in a newer version if you like. All right, so I'm going to import it again. I'm so terrible. I'm bad at typing normally, but in front of people, it's just even worse. All right. I do not know how people on Twitch do this. So bam, there you go. Quick, right? Now the thing is, we need to like hook it up. So I'm probably using use effect wrong. So excuse my React, because again, I haven't used it in a while. I just got it to work. Okay. So so you can see here. Okay, I have another one. This is another web component called contacts. You don't have to worry about that. It's just something I made, like to kind of go along. Like what it does is like you can dial a number, hit call, and then when you finish with the call, you can add it to the contacts. That's what that does. So it's not really super important here. All right, let's see. Let me save this real quick. All right, so now here is the actual keypad. Can you all see that? Or should I make that bigger? Let's see if I can make that bigger. I don't know if that's gonna work. Again, I thought people would have laptops, but okay, so we're gonna, all right. So, okay, here we go. All right, so then, again, remember, getting the reference to the web component is kind of a thing in React. So that's why we have this ref, and we're giving it the name keypad. So we'll see later on that thing there. And then I'm passing in, remember, you can only pass in text. So the action text attribute, we're gonna put in call, that's what it says call. Again, if you want to get aggro with it, you can make them call. And then there's the cancel one there. And then we have like a dialogue thing you don't have to worry about. All right, let's see. Up here, where is it? All right, so yeah, so now we have to do the keypad, and then we have to do the use ref thing here, and then we're setting initially to null, right? Then here, you see we're adding different, again, I'm not sure why the current thing is there. I'm not, but it's a React thing. So I guess it can change something. I don't get it. But this is what you have to do. So keypad, and you want to get the current version, and then we're adding that add event listener, like they said before in custom element everywhere. That's a thing where you like do it like you have to physically do it like separately. You have to make sure you put it on there. And so we're listening for these things that we set before, and then we have the different functions that handle them. And again, then we have to remove the listener when that's done. And then when we get, so handle digits, it just console logs that. Here, again, when the digits are sent, we do some stuff there. Main thing is you have to do the ref. That's the main thing. All right, cool. But then hopefully in 19, we'll have to do that anymore. You just do it regularly. All right, cool. All right, how am I doing on time? Okay, I got some of the time. All right, cool. All right, so that was React, great. And again, I have a link to the blog post. The blog post goes back all the way back before like class components. And so even so, if you're dealing with like old React, I have all the ways of being able to actually put in your web components. All right, cool. And again, view. The new view does something weird. The only thing is that it can't listen for custom elements with capital letters. So otherwise, it'd be perfect. All right, so our web is becoming more awesome for you. How's it working out for y'all? Is it coming okay? Is it doing all right? Are you seeing like the value in it? Is it kind of like you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. This can work out. Isn't that too bad? All right. Cool. Now, for my fragile eagle, I'm going to keep on going before I see a no. All right. Now, we saw how it works, and it's cool. It works, and you kind of like, it works. It shows up. Well, if you want to style it yourself, right? You want to put your own pizzazz on it, right? You want to make it feel like it fits within your application. So there's a couple of ways of doing it. So we have CSS custom properties. Has anybody used CSS custom properties? Right? CSS variables? No? Or like parts or anything? You have no? Oh, you don't know what you're missing. This is, oh, well, here we go. All right, cool. So let's talk about customer properties. It's like CSS is becoming more and more like an actual programming language, right? So you have like variables that you could put into it. And so let's say we have our button, right? So like one of the little buttons in our keypad, right? So let's just call that. So if you have like a button tag, you can set the background color, and it's a variable, and you set the variable name. And then we have a fallback to red, right? So it's kind of like what you want, but if you don't set it, it comes to the fallback. And then in your root, you set the actual variable. So my element hyphen button hyphen color, we're going to set that to blue. All right, that's how custom properties work. Now, the thing is, what if you had to, like, let's say, okay, background color, cool. But what about the font color? Well, then you'd have to put in the button, then you have to have the color, var, hyphen, hyphen, my element, hyphen, font, hyphen, color, whatever you want, and then set that there. Well, what if you want, it's a button, so you want to maybe do the border radius. Well, then you're going to have to do like the radius and then do all that stuff, right? So you can kind of see it could be a lot. And if you don't set it up for the person who's going to use your web component, you may miss something, and they may want to be able to change something, but they can't, right? So that's why they came up with the next solution. But you may want that also. So you may want them only to be able to style certain things, and then you can do that. Or if you want them to just kind of go wild, you can do button part, all right? And so, the part is pretty cool. I have links to the MDN in a blog post. So yeah, we have the button element, right? And then we named that element. I like to call it button because it is a button. If you want to call it Bob, do what you got to do, right? And so, so it's a regular element. So here we have our custom element, right? So it would be like whatever, like the VC keypad, right? So the name of our element, so VC keypad, and then the actual part, and then the name of the part. And then from there, you can do whatever styling you want on it. So you kind of like let it free. Whatever you can style with the button, you'll be able to do that, and it will reflect in your web component. All right, so that's cool. Now, for example, I created a set of UI web components to like create chat, because again, at Vonage, we try to do like real-time communications. So one thing that a lot of people do are like chats, right? And so instead of having to kind of redo it all over every time, I just kind of split up some of the different most used parts of a chat. So we have like the messages that'll show up the messages, the members, we have the text input, and then we have like a typing indicator to see who's typing. So we can do that. Now let's take a look at styling some of these, right? So here's our VC text input, right? And so cool, it's pretty good, right? It's a nice little styling. It's not bad. So if I were to, okay. Why is that? Oh, is that? Oh, okay, it is. It's just I can't see the thing. So let me show you some styling here. That's not going to let me. Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let's do that. Bam. Why you would do that, I'm not sure, but you can. That's the important part, right? You're able to, right? Here we go. Next one. So these are the members. And again, it's a nice style. It's kind of clean, right? But hey, you want to make it stand out more? You can, right? Let's take a look. Here's the VC keypad. Now, I want it to be where the keypad, where it's not just like, oh, it's cool, keypads, whatever, like put in like a key password or any other stuff. What if you wanted to actually use a keypad to do something cool, like have it be, scroll up, like a little like a gamepad, and you can have a little thing moving around stuff and like a little pew button. Do whatever you want, right? So that was another thing that, is cool. You can make things like not show up. Now, that's cool. Let's talk about new stuff. All right. So I've been big into like video recently. So I created a whole application to where people can stream themselves on the internet. So it's just like it's a simple project. I say simple because I'm using web components. So you don't have to, where is the mouse? Okay. So again, if you're on the website, you can actually go to this repo. See, this is like the workshop part where people kind of like we build it together. I guess I just watch me build it, I guess, which is weird. But we'll make it work. All right, so I have this repo here, right? And I have, I didn't go to the right one. I'll fix the link. The link is wrong. I will fix the link. This is what happens when you do stuff late at night. All right, but it's under my own repo. And I think I called it Live Stream Workshop. Let's see how good my memory is. Oh, there we go. All right, so basically we're going to fork this. So I have all the instructions here. So I guess we'll just kind of like take a look. All right, so we have this thing here. I'm going to do it under my own personal one. Oh, it already exists. Okay. Demo. Already exists. Oh, see, okay. Okay. All right. You know what? We're just going to look at my deployed one. All right. And we're just going to take a look at that. So normally what you do is you'll be able to fork it, right? Then you would be, who has like a Netlify account? Anybody? Cool. If you don't, you can assign it with GitHub. So you can do that too. We're going to take a look at that. And then you can fork it Has anybody used Netlify before? Anybody familiar with it? You just haven't used it. Okay, so yeah, so it's for people that don't know, Netlify is a place to where you can, one of the features is that you can import in like a GitHub repository, and depending on how that's set up, you'll be able to kind of like install and create an application, and it'll give you like a URL to where you can see your deployed application. And what's cool is you can pull down that repo, make changes, and you can push that change, and it'll re-kick off the deployment and kind of update your site, which is kind of amazing. So that's what you can do there. So you'd be able to click that, fork like import your forked repo and be able to work out. And then we'll have the different, I have different environment variables that help run the actual application. So like there's an admin password, there's a GitHub personal access token, guest password, a bunch of stuff, right? And I also say like how to fill it out. So I have all the different things here. And then since we're not like really doing it, we're just going to just skip it. I'll just show you what it looks like, I guess, or what have you, right? Because yeah. All right. So let me go into my Netlify. Let me see if I. So normally, like you log in or sign up. I'm going to sign in with my GitHub. All right. Cool. As you have the xoxr.games thing here. All right, so it is this one here. And so where you would set all those different, so I have it clicked in here. All right, so now those different tokens, the environment variables, you would put them under site settings, under environment variables, and then see here, you'd like, I have it to where you can actually just, let me close this out. I'm not doing that anymore, leave. Close that one, close that one, close that one. Okay, so close that one. So yeah, so you'd be able to kind of like just copy this, put it into where it's like add a variable from an import file. You'd like paste it here, and then I talk about how you can get them. So I have links to like where you can get your personal access token from GitHub. And you can set the password for the guest route, yada, yada, yada. So feel free, if you want to check it out, you can do that as well. All right, again, I will fix the link and then it will be good later. All right, cool. So let me show you some of the deploy stuff here. So like I said, whenever you like change something, it will deploy it here and you can kind of check it out. All right, let me see. I think it's the, I did some stuff behind the scenes. Okay, so let's take a look at this one, the latest one. And what's cool is that you can also have like branches. So you can have like a main and like a test one. You can set it up to where it will deploy both. So if you don't want it to show up in your main, you can show up in like your other branches. So you can use that while you test things. And so, yeah, so here's the application. Again, I'm using it for like live streams. And so I'm from Orlando, Florida, and we have a pretty good scene there, right? And again, I like to make random projects, and I'm always going to different meetups. So I was like, I'm here already. I might as well stream the events for other people who can't make it. You know, people have kids and all sorts of things. So I created otech.events for people to be able to check out different upcoming. So there's like a PHP one happening actually today. Okay. Nice. Oh, and also, you see this Tuesday, April 25th, this thing here? That's my web component, the Dwane timer. And it actually shows it in your local time zone here. All right, so, yeah, so this is a thing I created. So I was like, well, why not have other people be able to do that, all right? Or maybe stream yourselves. And so that's why I came up with this application, and you'll be able to kind of like deploy it to Netlify and do what you got to do, all right? So here is the main page. Again, I'm not like a designer or anything, so it's super basic. And so you can change it up as well as you would like. And again, here's that Dwane-timer. Let's take it and inspect that. Because again, I hate dealing with time. So here it is, Dwane-timer. You pass in a timer deadline, and it will show it in your local time zone. So that way you know when to check it out in your own time zone. All right, so yeah, so I did all that, cool. Now there's an actual admin section. I'm not going to tell you the password because it's, yeah. And then here we go. Nope. All right. And so here's kind of like the dashboard of the admin section. right? And like I said before, I have this thing. So it will tell you if your environment variable has been like filled out, because it has like a check mark. If it's not filled out, it won't be checked, and you'll have to go and actually figure it out. Now, Vonage, one of our APIs, uses private keys. And sometimes private keys are kind of like, because you got to do like a base 64, a whole bunch of other stuff. So I have this thing where you use the file that you download from us, you'll be able to just pop it in there, and it'll give you the base 64 encoded part of it. That's just in the browser. Like, it just does that. That's, again, the input is just awesome. It just does it out of the box. Like, it stays on your browser. It doesn't send it anywhere. It just does it in your browser. And you can copy and paste that. Cool. So as the admin, you're able to create an event, right? So let's say CityJS. So I'm sorry there's not a tilde over the A, because American keyboard, and I have no clue how to add that. So please excuse my American discrepancies. All right, Paolo, right? And then just say demo event. Again, I cannot type. All right, and let's say it's going to happen, I don't know, tomorrow. Cool, and then we're gonna add the event. And the way I'm doing this, probably not the best way, because I didn't want to have to prescribe a certain like database or anything for you. So I just have it like pull a file from your GitHub repo, change it, and then save it back. And so if you want to use whatever database you want, you can, but I'm just saving it to GitHub. All right, and then so that's that. Cool. And you can delete them if you would like as well. There is a host endpoint. And then there is a guest endpoint. So you would send your guests these links. So again, you can kind of see they'll be able to choose when they like. And so we're going to go with CityJS Sao Paulo. So we're going to join that room. We're going to allow, oh wait, I think, oh, don't tell me. I think my camera on here is messed up. Crap. Yeah, well, we'll see. Again, this is supposed to be a workshop. Okay. So that, yeah, it's fine. All right, so I'm going to put in Alice as the name, enter in the password. Again, I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, see my video, so my camera is messed up, so it's not going to show the video. I think I have to restart my computer. Anybody else have that issue? Sometimes your Mac doesn't just recognize your webcam, right? And of course, it's during a demo. So I don't even, but that's fine. Okay, so you'd have to trust me. There's a video that shows up there. You know, afterwards, 'cause I think I'm early. How am I doing on time? Anybody know? No? How is it so far? Is this okay? Is it not too bad? It's cool? All right, cool. I don't want to bore you, so I'm not going to keep you long. Hey, Italo, how am I doing on time? Kind of curious. Okay. Well, I'm going to end this soon. But so what happens is, so again, I'm going to have to restart my laptop because MacBooks apparently. So that's probably going to like destroy everything. But we're all here. I'll show you that it actually works once I restart my computer. So you know I'm not a liar. And then on Twitter, when people are like, boo, you're like, no, it worked. Really, you showed us. So I just need to restart my thing. All right, so then here's the guest page, right? So we're going to look at the CityJS Sao Paulo. Why did I do that? All right, and then let's just call this person Bob, and then the password, which again I'm not going to tell you because I'm on the internet. It's not a secure password, obviously, but okay. And again, the video should show up there, and it doesn't. All right, now let's say you're at home watching, right? And I gotta refresh this. So here's the CityJS Sao Paulo. So now these are for the people who are just coming in to watch the event. And AB, let's go with Chuck. All right, submit that. So now, so here's the watch, cool. So hi, shows up there, shows up here. Hello, again, cannot type. Hello, cool. And then the get, so you see it shows up here. Bom dia. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. Now, normally, so let me show you. So all this is web components. all these different things, right? So let me show you the actual repo for the web component. Are you trying to go to the site? Like, are you trying to? You're trying to hack my thing? Okay, hacker man. All right. So the actual GitHub. I cannot type github.com. It's under open talk. Too many repos in my brain. Okay. So this is the actual branch for the different web components for the video. So we have like an input select. So that shows all your different devices. So your audio devices and microphones and your video, which is this thing right here. So you don't have to do anything. It just shows up. It does it for you, right? So you don't have to do the whole thing about listening for stuff. Like it just shows up. So input select right there. Does it for you. Cool. Then we have the screen share, which again, if you want to screen share your thing, again, you just put in screen share, screen-share, and it does it all for you. Then we have, like we saw before, we have the text, the chat. So VC messages there. We have our input text. Again, right there, VC text input. And again, it's probably super small. I'm sorry. So yeah, so again, so there's a whole bunch of them here. So there's the video publisher, which is going to take your video feed and audio and publish it to the session so that everyone else can check it out, right? Now, there's a bunch of code to kind of make that happen. I kind of abstract that away so you don't have to worry about all that. And it's just, you just put the video hyphen publisher in there. Same thing if you want to have like a single subscriber and if you want to have multiple subscribers. Now, what's cool, I think is cool, is that I have examples there, right? And so you can see right now I have examples for Angular, React, Vanilla.js, and Vue. And so let's say if you want to use Angular, and then I have this open and stack blitz. So we'll actually open up in, it will create it'll fork the repo, and then it will install like Angular. And then again, my camera's not going to work, but you can do that as well and check it out for yourself. So try to make it as like straightforward to be able to try these things out, right? And so now, all right, so let's actually, so you can see here in the host, I decided like it'd be cool if the host knew who was in the chat room. So that's why this is that VC members. So that way, so you notice it's not anywhere else, not in the guest, and it's not in the watch, right? As the host, you can choose a scene. So let's say you're getting started. You select that, and under watch, you see, bam, it kind of shows the thing there. So while you're getting ready, you can do what you got to do, and people can chat and have a good time. And then again, if my thing was actually working, I would be able to show you with a video. It's fine. Again, off air, we're going to be able to, I'll show you once I restart my computer. And then, well, I can show you the screen share. So you see that one component does all the screen sharing stuff that you need to do, right? So it shows you a button. You can style the button however you want. And let's just choose, I guess, this one. All right, great. And now, when you're ready, so it shows you a preview. Again, all that's in the web component. And then when you're ready to go, you can just set that to none, select, then here in the watch, there it is. Now, if the video would have worked, it would have, like, again, CSS is amazing. So it would make the screen share bigger, and then all the other people would be smaller on the side there. And but I will show you once we actually get this thing working. And that's that. Cool. So you can try it out. Let me know what you think, especially with the web components, because we're still like building it out. So I'm kind of just putting it out there. And if you use it, give me some feedback, what you think, because we want to make it really useful for anybody who uses it. So again, let me know, and then you can see. Notice it says stop screen share now, and then it says start screen share. Again, it's just, you can set all that. So yeah, so again, we have the web component stuff here. Oh, see, that's kind of like how it shows up. Oh, I wonder if I can, well, let me see. If I do it without the actual video source, let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? All right, so that's kind of how it is there. Cool, right? So you see the name, Alan. Cool, right? So you see the name. Okay, so here under the guest dashboard, you see it shows up under, so like all the people who are not your screen, everybody else, the subscribers, show up there, right? And then I guess let me do this one too. Okay, so you see it shows up there. So if you notice the difference between the host, who's like in control, and the guest is just there for a ride, right? You can toggle the video, toggle the audio, cycle the video if you have like another source, and everybody shows up there. Here, under the host, you can still toggle audio, video, you can cycle video, but you also can show it on stream, and here also. So if you notice, here, there's nothing there, right? But let's say I'm ready to go, and I want to show myself. I'm doing like a little intro or what have you. Bam, shows up big, right? Cool. Then I bring on the guests, and see it says hide from stream, show on stream. Bam, CSS is doing that, all the layout stuff. CSS is amazing. And then, let me show you again. Let's say the guest wants to do their presentation, and they want to share their screen. Cool, let's say we're talking about Angular, great. So you can see it shows up, the feed there for the host and the guests there. And then to everybody watching, you'll have it like right there. So that's the layout of it, and they can chat and all these things. In the future, we also have archiving, and we also have it to where you can stream to RTMP. So if you want to stream to like Twitch or YouTube or anything else, you can do that with our APIs. I'm going to be adding that later. So, hit me up as I get these things done, and we can work on it. Yeah, so that's that. Cool. And let me stop all this. So yeah, so what's cool is if you don't have like a video feed, we actually give you like that circle person so that there is at least something there, somebody's there. So for the people watching, I'm going to do it for real, but for the people watching online, it did kind of work. I just didn't have a thing. All right, cool. And again, you can like delete stuff here. So I'm just going to close that up. Oh, so then when you're ready to finish, let's say it's time to go. If you want to take a break or stream ended, there. Again, it just stream ended. All right, cool. So I'm gonna close all that out, all that, cool. All right, normally, like I said, this is the workshop, we'd be working through it, but it's fine. You can do that at home. That's your homework. Let me know what you think. All right, cool. Then mouse, here we go. All right, so then, that's where it is. Oh, I'm an idiot, see? This actually went to the web components like it was supposed to. Then I had this other slide that goes to I'm tired. I'm still jet lagged. There's like 18 hours in there. All right. But yeah. So there we go. So I did do that right. Thanks, past Dwane. All right. Then to kind of get started, you can use our coupon. We have a coupon code. I don't think I can show it on stream, but there's a button there, and you'll be able to check it out and use it for yourself. I have the link to where you would redeem that coupon, and $10 gets you pretty good. Like we're not too expensive. Well, relative. All right. So again, thanks. I have a link to the different like blog series. So again, I did like a blog series with adding it to Angular, Vue, React. I'm going to add Svelte at some point, and like vanilla JS. Here's a link to the GitHub repo for the video web components, the chat web components. Feel free to hit me up. My website's there, lifelong.dev. I'm on Twitter, lifelongdev. I don't follow me if you don't talk to me. It's weird. Like if you're just following people on the street. Like, feel free to reach out to me. You know what I mean? Just don't follow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not there for followers. I'm there for like interaction. So feel free. You don't have to follow me. Just if you have questions, talk to me. It's cool. And then if you want to check out our other APIs, that's right there. And yeah, thank you. Oh, my bad. Let me see. Hey, okay. I'm going to read this. It's not from, I'm not making this up. This is what, hey, Dwane, first of all, a great presentation. Thank you. Sometimes we have to work with micro front ends. All right. So my question is it possible to work with pure web components among other libraries, frameworks without any issues? Yeah, because micro front ends, the idea of micro front ends. So I saw this one website and it had like a store, and let me show you. So micro front ends. Let's see if I can remember what it was. It was like micro front end. This one, I think it was. And so speaking of micro front ends, so they have this whole thing where things towards the bottom is like Vue, Angular. All right, here we go. So for example, they have the, so everything in red, that's like an Angular. So the idea of micro front ends is being able to use like Angular, Vue, React all in one application, right? And you can do that, right? And so let's say, so this is what this is saying. So things in blue. So what's cool is that different teams can be a part of, they can use whatever framework they want, right? And the way they interact with each other is by sending out events and stuff and listening for events. So regardless of whatever you're using, as long as you're sending out an event, the other application listen for it if it needs to do anything with it and do stuff with it. So that's pretty much with the micro front ends, right? And you notice they say how to create a custom element. So they're basically using like web components pretty much already. And so it's, yeah, so you can do that whatever you want. So yeah, so yes, you can do that. So you won't have any issues. Is it possible to extend some functionality from standard web components? Yes, it is super, for input, adding the type CPF, that's a pretty common document here in Brazil to apply some mask like, oh, so what is CPF? What does that stand for? Is it like a phone thing? Okay, yeah, but I think you can even do that. I think with like regex, I think you can do that, right? I think you can just do, the web is an amazing place. So a lot of times, like you like, I wish you could do that. You just like look it up, it's probably doing that. And so, so if you wanted to do something like, yes, you could do that to where you look for, you listen for the input change, and then you're able to actually do that and change it also. So if you wanted to, yes, but I think you can do that just with inputs as it is now. And I cannot find my mouse. Okay. So yeah, so this is what I do. Like I look for stuff like input, and I just put MDN next to it, and I just, so pretty much everything I need is on MDN. I think there's a way, if I remember correctly, that you can actually format stuff, if I remember correctly. But then again, we can talk about this afterwards. But yeah, but I'm pretty sure you can. All right. Anything else? Let's see. Nope, that's it. I think that's it. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Again, feel free to hit me up. And y'all have been awesome. Thank you very much. And that will be it. See you at CityJS tomorrow, right? Make some noise. Woo! All right. Cool. So where's my selfless promotion slide? Yes, all the things. And again, you'll be able to check out the website at any other point. Yes. What do you, the stickers? Like, oh yeah, yeah, if you want stickers, free stuff, come through. Oh, and then tomorrow, during the event, we're giving away, what was it, like Apple AirPods or what have you. And so, Apple AirPods 2. And so, like, get good at tic-tac-toe is all I'm saying. So, and then we have like other things we're giving away too. So come by the booth. We have stuff. We're terrible at tic-tac-toe, so you probably win some pretty cool swag. So just feel free to come by and talk if you want more stuff to talk about and things. So, and again, I appreciate y'all, and y'all have been great. So thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Oh, nope. Okay. So, Italo. Hey, psst, I'm done. Hey, guy, I'm done. Hey, how do I say I'm finished in Portuguese? Who? Terminé. Acabou. I'm not cursing or anything, right? I'm not getting in trouble. Okay, because I'll literally say whatever you tell me. So, all right.
Thank you very much, man. You stayed here for maybe 3 hours?
Yeah, I'm chilling. Yeah, it's whatever.
Wow,
I get paid to be here. I get paid to do this. I'm cool. I'm here all day. It's fine. It's
no,
cool.
but it's a lot. It's a lot. Thank you very much for your content. Thank you very much for everybody stay here, learning and staying here. Well, I'd like to say for tomorrow, if someone here that don't have a ticket for tomorrow. Okay, nice. Well,
not nice. I mean, it's kind of.
If you want to go. The Vonage will give the tickets for 4 people. So to get it, you need to share in the Twitter image. Well, if you don't have Twitter, I think you can use another social media. Okay, so please share a selfie doing a V and tag the Vonage Dev. I will put. Let me see. If I can put the Twitter here. So Vonage Dev. And waiting our DMs. The Vonage will enter in contact and give you a ticket. But it's only 4 tickets, okay? Amazing. And thank you very much again. Well, we ordered some pizzas. It will arrive soon. Maybe, I don't know, in 20 minutes, something like this. So I'd like to invite everybody to try the English. So you stayed here for some hours listening amazing content in English. And I'd like to ask for everybody do some network. Ask for the another person what you work, want, what you do, and what are your plans. You know, the things. Connecting LinkedIn and Twitter. Use this space for to do a network. And again, practice your English because it's a unique. Okay, it's not a unique opportunity, but it's a great opportunity for us to train our English. Okay, and after the pizzas arrive at 6:30, I think 6:30, we will start the next talks. So we'll have more, I think 3 or 4 talks. Okay, so thank you very much, and we have this break now. So Glaucia want to give awards now to talk about Microsoft building that is happening now, right?
It was a great icebreaker, tic-tac-toe. So you can start playing that. All right.
Thank you, Dwane. Hello, everyone. No. Again. No. 1, 2.5.
How long did I go?
3. Agora sim, né? Pelo amor de Deus, estão passando fome? I'm starving? Okay. So next month we will have a Microsoft build. Anyone here already heard about Microsoft build? Microsoft build is the most important event for developers here in Microsoft, and for the last 3 years happened for online sessions. But after the post-COVID-19 situation, we are come back again in Seattle and Redmond, and again we are going to doing face-to-face in Seattle for over 30,000 developers globally, and also in transmission and hybrid in hybrid sessions. But what I'm doing here talk about Microsoft build, because we are talking about in CityJS conference. It's a JavaScript conference, and I belong to the JavaScript development team, especially in the advocacy team. My name is Glaucia Lemos. Anybody here already heard about me? Okay, thank you. For those who never heard about me, again, hello, my name is Glaucia Lemos. I'm based in Rio de Janeiro, sou carioca da gema. And I belong to the developer relations team, especially for the JavaScript team and TypeScript team. Especially working with some Azure services, for example, Azure Functions, Azure Static Web Apps, sometimes Azure Front Door, or even also, for example, Azure SQL and some databases, but related with JavaScript and TypeScript. And also working right now with GitHub Copilot and VS Code team. So if you have any product team feedback or any Azure services feedback to give for me, please provide me. For example, I do have in my YouTube channel TypeScript 0 to Hero course for free in Portuguese version that I could elaborate together with the TypeScript team. For example, I know Anders Helsberg, the creator of TypeScript. So they really helped us to create this free course in Portuguese. So if you want to provide us any feedback for us, anytime about any Azure services related with the JavaScript or TypeScript, please contact me anytime. Em português. Se alguém quiser fazer algum feedback em relação a algum serviço do Azure, em relação a Azure Functions, Azure Front Door, Azure Static Web Apps, ou até mesmo TypeScript, VS Code, GitHub Copilot. Eu tenho trabalhado em conjunto com esses times de produtos, então é muito importante para nós prover feedbacks. Porque não adianta de nada. Por exemplo, as minhas demos sempre vão funcionar. My demos will always work very well. Always. Because I want to make better. But done in the real life, in developer's life, sometimes some Azure products or Azure services doesn't work very well. Então, é muito importante vocês proverem feedbacks, porque são vocês que usam esses serviços e produtos. Now talking about Microsoft Build. Why I'm talking about Microsoft Build? Because next month we will have again in face-to-face Microsoft Build, and here we will have this session called Build a Serverless Web Application end-to-end on Microsoft Azure with Savannah Strovsky. She's a person very important right now here at Microsoft because she's working in the Azure CLI tool. I don't know if you already heard about this tool. For example, if you want to deploy any Azure services, you can use this tool, for example. And then Walin, for those who already used sometime any Plural site courses, he's very famous, especially for Angular courses ones. He's a principal developer advocate here at Microsoft. So this session is talking about how to create an end-to-end experience using Azure, different Azure services, and using JavaScript, TypeScript, especially Next.js and other web frameworks. So this session, I don't know if you'll be will be in person, but 48 hours later of the session will be available globally for everyone. The good thing is will be in English, but you can use the translator generated by artificial intelligence, because you know that, right? Microsoft bought I think half of the OpenAI company. They have a lot of money. So this session is very important because we are building this project for over 80 months. It's an end-to-end project. So I highly recommend all of you here, especially for JavaScript developers, after to this in-person session, to watch later this presentation, okay? And if anyone here wants to talk about any product feedback or any Azure service feedback, please contact me anytime, ok? Então, falando em português, teremos uma sessão especial para JavaScript developers, a qual nós vamos mostrar um cenário end-to-end de como desenvolver projetos desde o front até o back-end, usando os principais serviços do Azure. Para quem não sabe, o Azure contém mais de 600 serviços, mas não vamos usar esses 600, vamos usar os principais. E esse projeto é legal porque vocês nunca, nem mesmo, eu nem deveria falar isso, mas nem a concorrência vai ter esse projeto. Não vou nem citar o nome das concorrências. A Amazônia, o Search lá, que tá, Então, enfim, e é uma experiência única, porque a gente, quando liga Azure, o que vocês logo pensam? When you heard about Azure, what is the first language pass your mind firstly? .NET, C#. But you can use Azure with Golang, PHP, Rust, Java, Golang, JavaScript, TypeScript, with different languages. And especially this project, it was built using totally TypeScript and JavaScript. So please, all the very important information, this project will be open source in 2 weeks. My intention was to provide this project available this project today, globally, together with all of you here. But unfortunately, Natalia Vendito, who will be presenting in CityJS in Greece, she's trying to performing a little issues in this project, but unfortunately, probably in CityJS conference, she will be providing an open source this project. So, traduzindo para português, esse projeto ele será open source, então vocês vão poder prover feedbacks desse projeto e vão poder usar em outros provedores de nuvem, não somente integrado somente com Azure. Vocês vão poder usar também com a Amazônia, lá com a Google, ou com a Alibaba da vida. Enfim, É um projeto open source e vocês vão ver que vai ser uma espécie de um projeto Airbnb muito parecido com o Airbnb, usando experiência de arquitetura de composable micro front-end, composable micro front-enders. Eu falei certo? Acho que sim. Bom, enfim. Bom, é isso. Alguém tem alguma dúvida, alguma pergunta? Não? Então vamos comer. Let's eat it right now. Thank you very much, everybody.